as angry. I'm better looking, but 10% less angry. My name is Gilbert. I am the Angry IT Nerd. I am your host for tonight, in tonight's festivities. Hello. How are you? Welcome.
Get back is coming. Just.
Welcome. So,
get back is coming.
I want to know how are you? Where did you get that angry scale? And how does it what do the numbers represent?
Trust me.
well, see, here's the thing.
2-hour celebration. Trust me. We'll talk all about it. But angry, please.
Well, see, let me quickly just explain my moniker here real quick. So, I chose the name Angry simply because I get angry a lot at a lot of things that annoy me. Mostly MAGA, but that's a whole nother story about that. Moving on to that explains the angry part. The IT part is because I have a degree in IT. My field in my industry is in IT. And finally a nerd because I am a nerd. So it's a very
You're not
Yes.
a nerd because you're in IT. You're in IT because you're a nerd.
Oh, you know what? That has never been said on this show.
that
has
that
never
is
been said on this show.
That's
Actually,
quite possible.
so
But I would always classify myself as a geek because when I graduated college, I got downgraded to a geek from a nerd.
there you go.
So
Well,
technically, I'm a
that's actually
geek.
a
Introduce the damn show, man.
Well, see, technically, I'm a geek, but Angry IT Geek doesn't roll off the tongue quite as, Yeah. So let me go around and introduce everyone first, starting with our guest that I've been graciously interacting with, the absolutely lovely, lovely Dr. Sandstorm, which I don't think she wants us to call her Dr. Sandstorm, but I shall allow you to introduce yourself. Please, Doctor, grace us with your presence.
Well, I am Dr. Sandstorm. I am a psychiatrist in California and got my nickname Sandstorm years ago on a trip through the Canyonlands in Utah. I don't know why. I don't know why they called me that. I can't figure it out, but it stuck.
Did you say the Candyman Islands? Is that a
Canyon,
thing?
the Canyonlands in southeast Utah.
Okay,
my
I was
dear.
about to say, there's no way in hell there's a Candyman Island. Nobody says his name 5 times. I don't give a shit where the whole island full of Candyman walking around.
All right.
Definitely don't say it there.
Listen, simping over white women with a long jacket on.
All right. Thank you, Doctor, for introducing to the people. So, moving on to the old bald black deaf bastard over there is Thomas the Villain Bishop. Thomas,
Yo,
say hello to the people, please.
hey man. What did I do to garner so much disrespect from you, man? Thought we was boys. Supposed to be partners.
Wait, that's your name. Never mind.
What kind of shit is that?
Sorry.
It's all out of love, man. It's out of love. It's all out of love, man.
Hello, everyone. My name is Thomas Bishop. I am known as the villain. There's a little picture in the back of your mom's purse. She doesn't talk about it a lot. Kind of faded, but it's of me. The only reason she keeps it is because she wanted me, but your dad had knocked her up first. Back to you, Gilbert.
Thank you, Thomas. That was Thomas the Villain Bishop, everybody. So now, moving on. She is...
Sorry, and I'm in shock.
I know, right? Let's move on to Gretchen, the prettiest lady in all of the internet. She is my wonderful host in the Rules of Nerdquisition. And she is one of the hosts in the returning Plot A-Holes. And she is the host of the returning Pete Trans on GCPR.live. Gretchen, say hello to the people.
Hello to the people, I guess. Yeah, Peak Trans, Thursdays, GCPR, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. I had something witty to say a minute ago, but I'm also blonde, and I totally forgot what it was. So, Hey,
Listen, there will be no
welcome to-
blonde jokes today. Our guest just so happens to be blonde. We can't allow that, okay?
Your guest has a
I-
sense of humor. I welcome blonde jokes. I'll tell them
I
myself.
own my blonde jokes all
See.
day long and then some.
See,
Well,
Doc,
and
already
I have
know
I
you
have been
really
dubbed an
want
honorary blonde.
Listen,
You are an honorary blonde. Yeah, we've already named you that.
hey, Doc.
I
Really
don't even
is a
remember. I don't even
psychiatrist.
remember why we named you that.
I don't remember either. I think that is why, because of our memories, which is why I'm an honorary blonde.
How you honorary? You ain't got no hair on your head.
Exactly.
That's not the point.
That's the point, man. You know what? I'm gonna
It
get
is
a
the
blonde
point.
It
wig.
is the point.
I'm gonna go around
is the
in
point,
Greenville in the Comic-Con with a blonde wig.
I'm gonna tell you something right now.
This
If
is
you walk your ass in
GCPR
there
and I'm
point-
conflicted.
Hold on. If you walk your ass into that damn Comic Con with me hanging around you, I'm gonna walk behind you with a pair of sunglasses on.
Oh no, you're not.
Like I will be blind as a bat.
Oh no, you're not.
I will pretend to be Matt Murdock. Not
Oh,
even
no,
Daredevil,
you're not.
Just Matt Murdock with a stick.
And this coming from the same man. This coming from the same man that will say he will walk around in Target dressed like Seth Rollins. Really?
Yes.
Really? And you're
That's
gonna be
not
embarrassed.
very
You're gonna be
good
embarrassed.
difference.
You're gonna be embarrassed to be seen
just
with
wait
me in a
until
blonde wig.
April.
Really? Really?
Just wait until April when we get to Comic Con and I get to meet this guy and that guy.
hmm
Yeah,
Right.
y'all think I'm annoying now.
All right.
Gambit to bring his behind.
And
down
so
there.
now, thank
He's
you,
got farther to
Gretchen.
go than I do. I got to drive 8 hours to see your dumbasses.
Aw.
And so now,
Could you introduce the other ball?
moving
person
on,
the show?
introducing now the main event of our introductions. He is the cuddliest teddy bear in GCPR with the crispiest, freshest beard that anybody has ever had. Gambit.
He's black
How is
on
that
one
beard
side.
doing
He just
tonight,
don't
my
wanna
friend?
own it. He don't want to tell nobody that he's black, but you know.
How's the beard doing tonight, my friend?
Wonderful, my friend.
See,
How
then he
is
opens his
everybody?
mouth and
Greetings,
it's like,
everyone. Thank you, Dr. Sandstorm, for being with us tonight.
I can't stand it.
Aw, it's my honor. Thank you.
Please, it's a freaking internet radio station show hosted by four nuts. Like you're the smartest person in this room right now.
Right?
Please?
I mean,
Right, okay.
Oh,
Listen, I'm nuts. I don't know about the rest of them. Listen, this.
I'm
I
pretty,
won't-
I'm pretty
I
sure
promise-
Gambit. I'm pretty sure
I'm not
Gambit does from the
diagnosing
planet
anyone
Charon.
Okay, I'm just saying. Like the tagline for this show should be "Come and feel these nuts." I don't,
Oh,
really? That
but they won't let me do
No.
it. It's
I
I've been
don't
I have been overvoted 4 times in a row for changing the tagline of this show to "Come and feel these nuts." 4 times, Doc.
no, you've been overturned
It's
for
always me
no.
voting yes.
No, no, no,
these
no,
three
no, no.
voting no.
Do not stop lying. You get overturned for Birdemic. That's what you get overturned
Okay.
for.
Are we gonna have a vote again?
there?
Are we gonna do it again? Are we gonna vote to change the tagline of this show to "Come and feel these nuts"?
If you want to pay me $1 to the swear jar every time we promote this show.
Why? I never said that. I could have been holding on to a
That-
bag of
Doc-
espresso
Doc,
nuts.
I hope you're not here diagnosed because you got a handful here.
All right.
no,
Right?
I'm not diagnosing tonight. No.
Good.
It's nuts. I could put music to it. Anyway, Angry, what are we
Oh.
talking about this evening?
Oh, you know what? I was thinking we do a guild check. How we doing? How we doing? How's everybody doing? How we doing? I mean,
I have
I know
nothing
things
to
been
do.
wild. Things been getting crazy. You know, since the
Not
since,
well.
since the Orange Man took over again.
I don't like Elon Musk.
I've never
I
liked
know
him.
This isn't a secret. I've
Oh,
never liked
my
him.
God.
I've never
How
liked
did you
him.
Not like Elon.
I don't like a man that has hair plugs. That's cheating. Sorry. Listen, I have male
I don't have a
pattern
problem
okay?
with a hair plug.
I have a problem with a hair
all
plug
that
guy.
money, how you got bad ones?
No, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. cheated the game, and then he put in the wrong plugs. He's trying
Right.
to walk around here like that damn forehead is not out here crying for Jesus right now. Like,
It's been
okay,
27 days.
27.
27, yes.
27 days. Well, Elon just had a big lose, didn't he? AFD didn't
Yeah.
didn't
AFDC,
didn't win
like,
the
yeah.
AFD
Right.
in Germany. Yep.
Good.
Yeah.
This is my problem with Elon Musk, beyond the hair plugs, just beyond them, which I have a problem with any guy that goes to the hair club for men because they ain't got no hair. It started with Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock had no hair in Kansas City, none. And then he gets on the national stage and all of a sudden he has a hat. That's all. It's a hair hat. He just pops it off, kind of like, like what was his name? Laurel and Hardy. It's a hair hat. But my
I was
problem,
going to say more Gallagher, but okay.
yeah. But
Right.
my problem with Elon Musk is he don't know what the fuck he's talking about half the time.
No.
This man's a genius.
No.
This
No.
is a genius.
No, he's
No,
not.
he's not a
No,
genius.
look at me.
He didn't have that much to do with the things that he claims he invented
Yeah.
and created.
It doesn't,
It
doesn't
Oh.
take genius to know, hey, I should buy them.
yeah, other people invented the things that he claims that he had something to do with.
Yes.
And now he's high on ketamine all the time. And so, and I got to tell you, from, scientifically speaking, ketamine and microdoses over a 3 or 4 week period of time with guided therapy, that can actually help you get over things like PTSD and depression. But when you're doing ketamine in high doses, as he claims that he is, repeatedly for a long period of time, it's neurotoxic and it's starting to show.
He was high on ketamine when he did that damn Nazi salute.
Yeah, he was.
That's
Of
the
course he
thing.
was.
Well, I mean,
that's the thing. Nobody.
he had to
knows.
have been when he did that press conference. He had to have been.
He was
high on it
you could
because-
see it in his teeth.
I
He
mean,
was
you
in there
just
with-
you just don't.
from my heart, and that's when he was high. He was higher than
Mhm.
Giraffe Coochie on the space shuttle. He was.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Nobody talks about it because I guess we're not supposed to talk about the drug addicts in the room when they're Republicans.
Well, there's
So-
one that sits at the Resolute desk every day, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yes. Isn't he? Okay. Is
So I guess
I'm
being a
not
drug
asking
addict
you
is
a question.
okay if you bend the knee to Trump.
yeah, like Donald Trump. The reason Donald Trump's bowels are as messed up as they are is because he did a whole lot of cocaine and Adderall in the 80s. This is not me making this up. It's true. The man cannot control his bowels. Booty cheeks
I
out here
don't-
flapping like clapping cheeks and shit. And
I don't think it stopped in the 80s.
oh hell,
Oh no, it's.
Well,
No.
I mean, we first found out about it in the '80s. I mean,
we
hey-
only found out about it in the
Better
80s.
and that's why Don Jr. has a fairly bad problem himself.
Of ass cane.
absolutely.
Yeah.
The world would be so much better off if all of them would just sit down and smoke a blunt.
No, it was.
Oh no.
Because
Like, seriously,
because
All
Somebody
the
on
crazy
one of
drugs
the-
aside, and just do some weed, man.
but here's the thing. We all have to be honest about this. Weed would be wasted on Donald Trump. He would be a waste of Mary Jane. He would. Like
No,
like just imagining him
that's a waste of weed.
and then
It's a waste of
passing it
weed.
around. It's a waste of weed because think about it.
What am I supposed to do now?
What do you do? What do you do? You get
I mean,
elevated, you get real.
I'm supposed to smoke this and then I'm supposed to what?
Yeah.
I
like,
take 2 hits and then I pass it which way? I don't understand.
Did I expect you to come
I
back?
really need to use the
No, I think I'll
bathroom.
keep it myself. Like he.
I'm about to
I
sign
don't
this
need
executive
the
order.
bathroom anymore.
What was it about again? What?
It's an executive order stating that I have a third leg and not a.
Oh
thumb.
please, come on.
Everybody
We all know that's bullshit. We all know it's bullshit. Is it somebody give me a quarter pounder and some fries and a Diet Coke because I'm watching my
He
figure.
goes
I
up to
know
McDonald's
people-
and take, I'll take 2 of everything, please.
I
Oh,
know
I'm sorry.
people who are in their
I'll take two
70s
of
that
everything
do.
now.
I know people in their 70s that do weed. I know this, and they're mellow. They just chilling.
yeah.
Just hey,
My
let
mom-
me hit this. I'm gonna sit
Yeah.
down. Everything's cool. It is
I
everything
have
seems
lots of
cool.
Yeah.
geriatric patients that smoke weed. I have lots of them because they're the old hippies. I mean, think of who was
Yes.
at
My
Woodstock.
mom is high
Now they're
right
old
now.
and they're
You know
in the
what she
nursing
did?
home.
She watched
Yep.
Tracker.
And that's what I'm saying. This man is the president of the United States with a severe drug problem. He is hanging out with another dude with a severe drug problem. The issue I'm having is that everybody keeps trying to act like this is normal. There's nothing normal about this.
There's nothing normal about it. And Musk is the most dangerous man in the world right now.
Listen,
And these are, and the people
Absolutely.
that support him are the same ones that come to us and be like, well, he's going to send us $5,000, and
Mhm.
Oh, I've heard 5,000. I've heard 8,000.
It's hard.
I've heard
5,000,
10,000.
8,000, whatever, and federal income tax is going to end after that. And when none of that happens, and they don't see one red cent, they're going to come up with another excuse.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
Somehow
Because
it's going
they're-
to be Biden's fault. I guarantee you.
Biden's fault
Yeah.
or Hillary's fault.
Doc,
There's-
how do we
there's
get
a
this done?
big difference between, and I've talked about this before, there's a big difference between conservatives and non-conservatives. And
Yes.
by and large, conservatives are very rigid in their thinking. They're very black, this or the other in their thinking, black and white in their thinking, and they need authority in their lives to tell them what to do. These are people, you got to remember, who were raised up in religion, and they stay in religion because they need that religion to tell them what to do. The sky daddy has to be their authority. Well, when another daddy comes along that can tell them what to do, they embrace authoritarians, openly. They love it.
I've never had a daddy kink, and my father and I did not have the greatest relationship, but I still miss him. He's been gone for over 25 years. But there's no way in the world I would be just giving away daddy to every dude that stands in front of me and says, I'm important. Like, that is the weird. Just
That's odd.
somebody literally had the
That's so odd to me.
to tell me, oh, well, Trumpers aren't calling him daddy. And I went and found a video of a grown ass man, a grown human, going, who's your daddy? Trump's my daddy. Hey, yo, pause.
Oh, you
Is
could have
this
done
your
a,
man?
You could have done a 20-minute collage of them. You could have done a
They're all over. You,
And-
look at how daddy's coming back. Yo.
And I'm sure these are people with 401ks.
This kink is so ridiculous. I've been choked by men bigger than him and never called them daddy.
There it is. There it is.
You know what, Gretchen? Before you start knocking these damn 3-pointers off from the Rocky Mountains again, I'm gonna need you to stretch. Let us know before you start knocking these some bitches off. Damn, three-point.
So look here, man. That goes against
hashtag ninja attack.
the code of the ninja.
Go doing it again.
That goes against her ninja code, man.
Jesus.
She got it.
Just
She got
out of
it.
nowhere.
She got to do with the RKO out of nowhere, man. Come on.
Out here yelling Kobe.
There's
Listen,
only one man on this planet. Seriously speaking, there's only one man on this planet I would call daddy, and I would never do anything like that with him because he is in fact, my actual daddy, and he loves me, and I care for him, and that would be gross and weird.
yes.
But no,
Yes.
anything. No, I'm sorry.
Listen, after I stopped peeing in pots, my dad got dad. He didn't get daddy. I don't even listen. There have been certain instances, I will say, there have been certain instances where people have. Can I call you daddy? No, you can't. Don't ever call me that shit. Like, I got 4 kids.
Uh-huh.
My daughter calls me daddy, but she's also special needs. My oldest son calls me pop. My 2 other sons call me dad. This is, look at me, daddy. Hey, sir. And the thing about it is Trump leans into that shit. He leans into it.
Oh, he loves that
What
shit.
weird, sick
He loves that
shit
shit.
is that? He just
Well,
At the end of the
Yeah.
day,
well,
the point we're making
remember-
though, is that calling
remember
Trump
what-
daddy is freaking weird.
remember how he's
Well-
talked about Ivanka.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
There, and we know that he did not have a very good relationship with his father. So
If
Mhm.
Fred Trump
is
had
a
Right.
just told that,
it is a whole thing.
listen,
It's a
if
recurring.
if Fred Trump had just said one time to that little motherfucker, "Hey, Donnie, come here. I saw that you shit in the pot. Proud of you, kid." Just one fucking time, we wouldn't be here. If
Right.
Elon Musk's father had looked at him and said, "Hey, Elon, you got male pattern baldness. Proud of you, buddy," we would not be here. We would not
Not
fucking
for
be
the
here.
fact-
So no.
For the baldness.
Come on. Just imagine if Fred Trump had hugged that fucking kid one time, once, and not forced hug.
So no,
I mean,
if
"Hey,
Fred Trump,
come here,
so
Donnie,
look,
I love you, little
look at me,
fucker." Like,
if Fred Trump had told him just like at least once, hey, cut that shit out.
Right. He was
Don't do
not
that.
disciplined.
he never got a hug from his dad. He never got "I love you" from his mom. His mother even said he was a fucking idiot. Like this, we have.
Well, let's face it, she was not wrong.
Listen,
I mean,
she's
she's 100% right in everything she
wrong about that
said.
hairstyle. She was wrong about that hairstyle.
She looked like Bride of Frankenstein with that hairstyle.
I don't know how the fuck is it your face faces forward and you have windswept hair and your face ain't moved. How the fuck? How is it your face is facing like this? So the wind would be hitting you, but the shit go. Where they do this? The fuck? Where is?
That's some fit. That's hey man, we don't understand the physics of that.
Hairstyle is standing in defiance of God.
I don't understand the physics of that, man.
Fuck a Aquanet. That woman
Say,
got
look at
a
man.
aqua trawler.
So-
Fuck.
So look at man, I have a degree in tech. I don't have a degree in physics. I don't know how to tell you
I
that.
understand how products of the time work.
Listen.
The,
If
the hairspray was strong. Let's put it
This-
that way.
Yes.
I know a
I
black
needed
person-
that shit whenever I was on stage.
Listen.
Yeah, it was.
This is the shit that black folks try to tell white people about their children. Stop teaching them meaningless shit and hug them. Fucking
Right.
wrap your arms around them, Dad. Instead of taking them out hunting and
Mhm.
having
So,
them
yeah.
throw away some fucking woodland animal.
So give them a
Grab
hug.
your kid, tell 'em you
Say
love 'em, and
this.
fucking tell them you're proud of them once.
That's-
So give them a hug when they need it. Tell me you're proud of them, and especially tell them to cut that shit out.
Cut that shit out. Don't do that, boy. Like,
That's one of my soapboxes. We are in a world of toxic masculinity because we have treated our boys as if they should not have a heart or feelings, and we've told them to man up, suck it up, don't cry.
Walk it off.
knock
Right.
it off.
Walk it off. Walk it off. Yep.
Taught them, and what happens to all there? It doesn't turn them into people without feelings. It turns them into people with a shit ton of anger who are going to take it out sideways on anybody they can.
The
And guess
worst-
what?
Mm-hmm.
Here we
Yeah.
are.
Yep.
The worst two things that ever happened in Donald Trump's life is Fred Trump's inability to fucking look at his kid and say, "I fucking love you and you're a great kid," and Roy goddamn Cohn. Roy Cohn, listen, at some point, somebody should have fucked Roy Cohn up. I argue with your mom and don't argue with me. Somebody should have whooped his ass. Like
Mhm.
we are looking at the combination of two fathers in one man, and neither one of them did shit for him. Fucking Fred Trump didn't do shit for him, and Roy Cohn taught him all kinds of fucked up shit. Like these are your heroes. Like
Right.
my father and I, we were not close, but I at least knew the motherfucker loved me once. He said it once or twice. You know, he gave me a hug and shit.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
Yeah, and these are the
Yeah.
same people. Even before I came out as trans, even before I, had my outing or whatever, I would argue on social media with people like, you don't ever hit your dog. You give love, you take it away. But I'm gonna spank my kid. Oh, so it's okay to hit a human being, but not your dog.
seriously,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
What?
So
That
you
makes
can
no
fuck
sense
up a
to me.
child, but you
So
the
you
idea
comfortable.
of literally looking at your kid and just going. And again, I have to say this because I've seen it black men go through a hyper version of it, and it takes us decades to try to get past that shit. It takes us decades to get past this need to see every black man as our enemy. White guys, they embrace that shit. You know, it's hard men to do hard men things, and for other hard men, we do hard things, and we get
hell, even
things because we're so hard. They're like, motherfucker, you ain't ever stopped and said.
And hell, even some of us don't even get past it.
Like, we don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Men do not look at women as fully formed human beings. We look at them as a place to deposit shit, semen, our fist, our emotional baggage and shit. Like
Dirty laundry.
Yeah, like guys will sit up and go, you know, my wife better not vote for no goddamn Democrat. She's right there, and then she's going, yeah, I won't vote. Stop enabling him. Bitch, I'll vote for whoever I want to.
Yeah.
But once again, I'm going to blame it on religion. Because the Christian religion, the Abrahamic religions, teach subservience to women. Listen. We are supposed to be subservient to men. So, yeah, I mean, that's why you have all these white women voting against their own rights, because that's the way their husbands voted.
I keep trying to tell y'all, the worst thing that ever happened to the world is fucking religion. Faith and spirituality, beautiful. Religion is a fucking Ponzi scheme. I keep saying this. It is a male-dominated. You can't tell me, well, you know, God says we hate the gays. Who told you that? It's in the book. You mean the book written by other dudes?
The book you didn't read anyway, because
that fucking book
clearly didn't read all the other.
Exactly.
So why are we even starting this conversation?
That's what I'm saying. It's a book. Unless God himself wrote the book and it ain't but one copy and it just keeps floating over wherever Christians are hanging out at. Well, I guess I'll ask the book. Book, can you come down here? And then you read it and it goes the fuck back up again.
I've said recently on social media that given the current climate of the world, the state of not just the U.S., but the whole world itself, that the fact that the second coming hasn't occurred yet is all the proof I need to know that Jesus and God does not exist.
And we have now gotten to the point where they have almost deified this fucking dude. But I go back to my marriage.
I go back to my marriage before I transitioned. Both me and my ex-wife were non-believers. So when we had fights or what have you, she was like, "You ain't gonna tell me who to vote for. I'm gonna vote for who I want to, motherfucker. You ain't nobody." Not that I would ever tell her who to vote for, but if I tried to, she'd be like, "Bitch, sit down."
Like I love my wife's dirty draws. I love her from the top of her head to her bottom of her feet. I wouldn't know what to do. I wasn't raised around women that subjugated themselves to men. I don't know who the fucking women are. I see them.
I'm gonna.
You want a woman that has the dinner ready when she comes home. What are you talking?
Let me tell you like this. I used to.
Boberts are like, we are the lesser vessel. Like,
I used to work. I don't say. I used to do a website for a dude that owned his own comic book, ran a comic book studio, and he was. What was his religion? He was Muslim, but he cherry picked everything in order to essentially be right all the time.
You got
and Muslim / Islam is an Abrahamic religion, and they do cherry pick as much as Christians.
Same thing, fam.
It's same thing. And here where I live at, you meet anybody, what man, woman, whatever. If they're a Christian, they go to church. They are the most horrible people that you will ever meet.
Yes.
They cherry pick everything from out the Bible to justify their horrible attitudes. And even if they get called out, even on that, they immediately go to is, well, God knows what's in my heart.
Yeah,
and that ends it all.
I do need to give a quick shout out to something Vampirist said in the YouTube chat because it hits hard. As a trans woman who cannot create life, I cannot give birth. She said, man created religion because he was jealous that women can create life. And that, boom.
Bingo.
Sit down.
Absolutely.
I keep explaining to people, I I do not have a desire to produce another child in this goddamn world. Y'all got 8 out of me. 4 of my own and 4 that I married, and you got 8. And you got a bunch of grandkids. Me and my nuts are just it's a farewell tour. I just look down every once in a while and I go, it's like the traveling Woolberries.
You don't even need to make that justification. Like I've had 3. And yes, as a trans woman, I have fantasized about what it would be like to carry and give birth. But even if someone showed up at my door tomorrow and said, "Hey, there's a new procedure and we can do this surgery and you can give birth," I'm like, "Nah, I'm good. I got 3. I'm out."
Not in this world, right?
Listen,
not in this world.
No, I'm good.
I get naked and
Good,
the music
thank
from
you.
Saving Private Ryan comes on. That's how I survive. Fuck you.
Gilbert and George know. It's like Gilbert and
done.
George knows. My youngest, who is almost 19, is preventing me from being on shows I want to be on because it's like, Earl, stop.
Listen,
I'm done.
No,
You know,
I'm
okay.
good.
Mhm.
And that's another thing I don't understand with men. I've got to make sure my seed lasts. Fuck you.
So listen, I got to tell you like this. I've babysit enough times to know I'm good. I don't need kids.
You don't.
I babysat enough times to know
Listen, if
I'm
you're
good.
at this point in your life and you ain't had any, trust me. Just
No,
borrow a
again.
couple-
Exactly.
like I said,
Hang out with
You know,
some-
and the real joy these days is being a parent to a young adult who has not yet become self-sufficient and left the nest.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
that is such a joy because it's anytime you see them, it's snark. It is you are the villain. I'm the villain. You think you're the villain? I'm the villain in my house. And it doesn't matter what I say. I can say good morning. And I'm
Don't
the
talk to me. You were born in the 1900s. You old.
Right.
And,
Right.
and Doc, has that
what's so good about this morning?
that situation, has that made you want to just, I can't wait to get underneath some man and bring another one of these into the world. I can't wait.
Oh, That
No.
that would be, well, for one thing, this postmenopausal broad is not going to be producing any more
Listen.
children.
look, I have started waiting. Like because women to me become a lot more attractive after menopause. Like when
We're a lot more
when that
self-assured
change
after
of life
menopause.
music hits, it's
Right.
the change of life.
Well, I
Look at you
can't
on the other
speak for women.
side.
I can't speak for women who can give birth, but I understand that sentiment that you become more confident after menopause because it's
Yes,
like
you do.
you don't have that burden hanging over you.
Listen,
Well,
And
and
I-
you don't
I think
have the reproductive. The drive is different. If we're going to talk about biology, the drive is a little
Right.
different because there's biology involved in this for us.
yes.
And
Mhm.
prior to menopause, the drive is there to reproduce, like it or not. We're animals. That's what we are.
Yes, that's
But
what we're
after
designed to do by
menopause-
nature. Yes.
After menopause, hey, it's my choice. And I don't, if I don't like you, you can bye.
Listen.
Well, the
I-
best words I ever heard was from my doctor when I started transition. I was 43 years old. I had had a vasectomy pre-transition, and then I started hormones, which made me doubly infertile. And my doctor was like, "Okay, here's a prescription for your hormones. Welcome to menopause." I was like, "What?" "What?" She's like, "You'll see. You'll see."
When a woman after menopause, they become more confident and therefore they become 10 times more beautiful than they were before the baby factory closed down. Like
Mhm.
most of the women that I find attractive, whether it's on social media or wherever, they will tell I'm done. Like listen, that the change of life, like we're done. Like nothing else is coming. The baby factory is closed. We put out the last product. Everybody cheered as the conveyor belt went down, and we can't believe that the shop is closing down. And I'll miss all these people. I have their email address. And then when you see these women that are post menopause, like they are out here just, god damn, like and I don't know what
There's
it is.
nothing to prove.
So I'll
There's
tell you
nothing
what
to
it
prove
is.
except to
Exactly,
ourselves.
Gretch. Exactly, Gretch. And I'll tell you
Mhm.
what it is. Again, I'm going to go back to a little bit of biology, but I think there's biology involved in a man's need to pursue and to conquer, pursue and conquer. And if the woman, the woman that is of reproductive age is going, oh, hi, I'm here. Yeah, you can catch me. The woman who's beyond that, who goes, you know what, fuck off. I don't need you. I think that's more attractive because the man's drive is to pursue and conquer. Would you agree? Am I being misunderstood?
No, absolutely.
No, you're not.
because it is absolutely true. There is this need inside of us, like we gotta catch it. My knees.
It's like something.
There's a
When
very basic drive.
it's like this. It's some.
Me and Thomas
got
fucking
bad
depressed.
knees.
I no
No.
longer have a six. I no longer have
Too many
6-pack
injuries.
abs. I have a 12-pack
many
bordering on.
injuries.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Look, if
saying.
we're
I have a
breaking it
12-pack
down- if
bordering
we're
on a
breaking it down
keg.
by the two base sexes, which we know
Mhm.
there are more than two sexes. If we're
Yeah.
breaking it down by the two main ones. A man's drive is to reproduce and spread his seed and create as many offspring as he can.
Yes.
Whereas a woman is looking for the strongest partner to create the strongest offspring that will carry her lineage on. Men want to produce more out of, okay, I make 198 die, at least 2 live, right? Where
Right.
women are like, I with 98, I'm with 100, but 2 of
Yeah.
them are like super strong. You see the difference? That's the
Yeah.
basics
Mhm.
of biology.
Listen.
The very,
Yes.
very basics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is why
Human
I love
emotion
being-
takes it 1,000 different
Yeah.
directions, but that's
That's why I love being against biology, because when I saw my daughter, I said, I ain't got to do this no more. No, I'm done. 3 boys and a girl. The world. Listen, you have my seed. It is free now.
Look, biology
Listen,
goes out
I
the
don't
door
need
every
to
time.
do this shit
Biology
anymore.
Right,
goes out the
right.
door every time I
Your
go on a
seed is
dating app.
free now,
And
Thomas?
all these MAGA people that are like, there's only men and women, but yet every guy that responds to me within 3 hours, all 50 of them are MAGA supporters.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
sickening. It's
Biology
not
goes
even.
out the door because, bro,
And they're
you
MAGA
like the
supporters
dick.
that are holding a fish.
They are
Holding a
some
fish.
of the most homoerotic sons of bitches walking.
Why are they all holding the
My
fish?
whole thing is just.
Why?
It's always,
Why
I
do
told
they
you.
do that,
It's
Angry?
not
I
even
don't get it.
homoerotic. It's not even homoerotic, Tom. Men like dick. If not their own, other people's. Men like dick. I'm sorry, good boys. Admit it. Y'all like the dick.
I will
And when
freely
it comes
admit.
with some tits and a cute face,
Listen, I will
Right.
freely admit.
Yeah.
Yes,
me out of the
right.
shower, I do tend to look at myself a little bit longer than I did. Listen, come out, no hair on the head, ready for the shave, wet, and even the sick.
I'll
even
tell
the
you
egg
why
doesn't
I-
look that
You want to
bad.
know how?
I'll tell
I
you
can-
why men
You
love
want to
the
know how
dick.
I can prove to you men like dick? Watch this,
Oh, Lord.
guys. You ever wake up in the morning and sometimes you go to the bathroom and you're like, "Whoa! When did you get so big?"
I'll tell you why men
Right.
love the dick.
Because you
When
know
was
what,
the
women
last
don't
time-
have that.
When was the
Women
last
have-
time you got
women have-
when was the last time you
I'm
got an
about to
unsolicited
start.
vagina pic?
Gresham, stop giving me hope.
I'm just saying.
I need
When
you-
was the
I need
last
you to
time you got
stop.
an unsolicited vagina?
Nobody.
2006.
Never got
There
one.
is
have
no
you?
such
Never.
thing.
No.
I got one
No.
2006.
Such thing as an unsolicited vagina pic.
Yes, there is.
I'm
Oh, yes, there is.
Asking where
Oh, yes, there is.
2007.
Oh, yes, there is.
I'm going to tell you a little story here, real quick. It's personal, but it reinforces my point, right? Me and my ex-wife, we were playing around one time, and she made a profile, right? And she was getting all of these responses, and all the pics she was getting.
Of course.
I sent her one. She didn't even know it was mine. It was just another one in the bunch. Okay, it was just another one. So
Exactly.
dudes, I don't know why you think this is something that's cool or a flex. Stop doing it.
It's not
Because
that they
girls
don't.
can't even tell the one that they're
Hold
on every night.
It's
from
it's
yours,
Not that they
okay?
think it is.
I
It's
did
Mhm.
get one. This
What, a
girl
vagina pic?
was- Yeah.
Oh, I've gotten one before.
This
One.
girl,
I
girl I
just
was on a
want to
date
touch
with.
you now.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to.
The,
He's
okay,
gotten the
this
holy
was,
vagina.
This was like a second date situation, and we were out at the restaurant, and we hadn't even pulled around or anything, but like I said, it was the second date. It was like we've been talking for like 2 months, and it was the second date, and we're out of the restaurant, and she sends me a text message. Well, me thinking she's just messing around, I open it up, and it's a picture of her that she had taken fresh out of the shower.
Was it that one part, or was it like everything?
Yes, it was
including
the
that
one
part?
part.
Gambit, what are the lottery
Then
numbers?
congratulations, you're the one man that I've ever met that got
Oh, I
one.
was not.
Yeah.
I
Gambit,
wasn't
what's
mad
the
about
lottery number?
I've gotten one as well.
wasn't mad about it.
I got one from my
Don't
wife,
give me
and
a-
it was only because I asked for it. The fuck are y'all talking about? Like, nobody.
Oh, look,
listen,
I've
I
gotten
got a box of steak
Silas.
for it. I have never. No woman.
I've
has
gotten
ever
one
said,
before.
Hey, Thomas, I'm
telling you.
I love your content. Here's some booze. It ain't never happened. It ain't.
Did you hear
So no,
that woman that got the unsolicited dick pic, and she decided to just play with this guy, and she's like, "Oh, you like those too," and she started sending him dick pics, just random, like from.
Gretchen's already. Listen, Gretchen.
I've
does
said,
that.
yeah, I've said
Gretchen
that
does
before.
that on purpose.
Gretchen does that already.
When
Yeah.
when I get unsolicited pics, I send one back.
She sends
Yeah.
them back.
There you
Mhm.
go. Yeah.
That's why I'm like,
And
I don't
he was like, "You're a pervert. What's wrong with
listen.
Like, I'm not a pervert. You sent me yours. I sent you mine.
right?"
I have been
exactly.
I've
Yeah.
been saying over and over, I have DOD. I have dick pics on demand. You have to ask for them. Because my thing has always been, I come from the school of seduction. Because I was out here trying to go home with a woman and lay up next to her back when there was no internet, where you actually had to, talk. Your breath had
Put
to
in
smell
effort.
good. You had to get the crust out of your eyes. Make sure there were no boogers in your nose. You had to make sure that you had brushed your teeth and taken a mouthwash. It wasn't just either or, bitch. It was both of them. Where you actually had to
I'm
say
from the-
something like, "Excuse me." And
Yeah.
I have a whole playlist on my goddamn TikTok channel called the Art of Seduction, because
I'm from the era
Motherfuckers-
where you had to talk to somebody to like get them in
Shit.
bed.
I was just telling y'all,
Well-
like, I was 17 and my cousin took me out to go to the after party at Salt and Pepper concert, and I met this very beautiful woman. I was 17. Just lame as shit. Didn't know how to speak. Now it's just, "Sup, here's my penis." Cheating motherfuckers. You
Well, do you
raggedy
think it's-
sons of
do you
bitches.
do you think it's sort of like the digital age of the peacock, the male peacock that has this,
It's lazy.
show off and
It's lazy. It is fucking lazy.
Lazy.
I'm sorry. I'm
I
old.
don't know. Maybe it's a combination of the two.
Peacocks.
I don't know.
Peacocks are the animal
Yeah,
kingdom's
because-
walking version of D-Pic.
But see, that's the thing.
Yeah,
A
I mean-
peacock does that shit mostly to again track the mate. But we're
Yeah.
talking about female peacocks. They're impressed by that shit. There's not a woman alive going, "I just need more dick. I need
No,
more.
it's
I'm
not. I mean,
begging
you-
for them."
And you see this in
This shit
more
ain't never
animal
happened.
species. You see it more animals than just peacocks. Look at ducks. Mallard ducks.
sure.
Males are more
Mhm.
colorful than the females.
Yeah, but they also
And
have a
tarantulas.
penis that look-
Males are more colorful than the females. But
Yes,
they're
but-
animals. They don't have the complex emotions that we do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ducks also have a corkscrew penis.
That's what I was just about to say. They have a corkscrew
That was
penis.
pigs, but okay.
At that point, they're just
Mhm.
basically begging somebody to touch them. Like, my penis looks like a screw. Won't touch me?
They're
Like,
operating more on basic biology and instinct. than we-
Yes.
yes,
Men
Yeah.
they are.
did
They are.
that.
And the sad thing is that we are animals with complex emotions and absolutely no intelligence whatsoever.
None. Men
No.
Men have become very stagnant and lazy. Because if there was no internet in 2025, 95% of the guys out here talking about wanting to get laid could not get laid getting off of a plane in Hawaii. Because when you get past their Instagram photos, when you get past their Snapchat photos, when you get past all of that bullshit, to get a woman to come to bed with you, to take off her clothes and giving you consent to enter her, you still have to have something on the fucking board. You got to have something on the table. I've
Well,
seen
even more
all of your
now.
fucking pictures. You
Even
look
more
like
now.
Even more
Yeah.
now, because women don't need men to support them like they used to.
Nope.
We make our own money. We buy our own cars, our own houses. We don't need men for what we used to need men for. And so now men need to try a little fucking harder to be decent human beings, to be empathetic, and to be compassionate, and to display some modicum of intelligence.
because men still want to be needed and women only want you. I would much rather hear the word want than need. You need to eat. You need to sleep. You need water. I don't want to fucking be an essential. The fuck out of here. I can't breathe. I gotta have air. I have to have water because I'll die. My stomach's
No,
growling. I need
Need,
some
need is
food.
not the
Yeah.
Because
I know there's so-
Want me. Fuck that.
And this was
Want
one of
me.
my best TikTok videos, is because whenever you want something, whenever you want to have somebody in your life, that is whenever you have a partnership.
Yep.
Whenever you
Mhm.
need somebody in your life, you change the dichotomy between the two.
Yep.
And that's
Yes.
when things
Absolutely.
break
And just
down.
like you,
And
just
that
like
is when
she,
it's unhealthy.
yeah, just like she wants you today, you're afraid that she might not want your motherfucking ass tomorrow. That's part of the game. Motherfuckers used to just let that shit
And-
go. Like, hey man,
Yeah.
chalk
And
it
it
up to the
bleeds
fucking game. She
over
don't want you
even-
no more.
My therapist loves me.
it bleeds over into even trans people. Like,
Oh.
I know there are people out there, whole hordes of people be like, "You're not a woman. You're faking. You're pretending. Whatever." But yeah, it still bothers you that I've been independent for 8 years,
Right.
living on my own, doing
Mhm.
my own work, paying my own bills. And when someone comes in, and like I said, I can get 50 messages in an hour from MAGA people on a dating app. And then when one of them comes in, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just not interested." They're like, "What? Why?"
Because they believe you being a
'Cause they
trans
think-
woman,
I mean-
you're
They think I have no
desperate.
choices but them. And
Yeah.
I mean, did you see the picture of them holding the fish? Did you see their fish pic?
Listen,
Did you
If
see
it's-
the
Did you see their picture holding the fish?
ladies, here's a piece
I
of
mean, I don't know how you couldn't fall for it if you didn't see him holding the fish.
Sorry,
how
was
high
did the pic I send back embarrass you?
here is a piece of free advice from another grown man. Okay, if you go to my profiles, any of my profiles, there is a picture of me. It ain't of a fish. It's not of a vehicle. It's not of money. It's not
It's
me
not your-
standing
it's
next
not
to
a
a bunch
headless
of other
chest.
shit. It's a
Headless
fucking
chest.
picture. Yes.
Love that.
Right.
So, ladies, if you go to a man's profile and there's a fish, a fucking vehicle, or them doing some sport in it, red flag, bitch, flag
Yes.
on the play,
Nothing-
bitch.
nothing
Listen,
here.
flag.
Oh, there's
the
one.
fuck on
There's
the
one
That's
more.
it.
There's one more.
Yes.
There's
Which
one
other
more. Laying back on a sweaty, wrinkly pillow.
Oh,
if they're
God.
like-
Oh, I hate
Ah.
that. Like, look
Yeah.
at me, baby. I'm so sexy. I'm like,
Yeah, right.
I'm already in
Oh,
bed.
yeah.
Come
I
on.
haven't washed
Come
my
on
bed sheets
by.
in a month. I'm like,
Did y'all
I know you just want to put your hands all over my body.
You have a
Did-
stain right
So you want to
next
put your hands all over my
I change my bed
body.
clothes every 3 days.
Hold on.
Like,
Did
come
y'all ever
on.
see the one of the guy with the mullet wearing drawers in a pink bedroom on a pink bed?
Wasn't
surrounded
that a
by
movie called Joe
AR-15s?
Isn't that Joe Dirt?
No, he was no. Listen,
Your sheets look like they
Listen.
haven't been
You
cleaned
sure?
Yeah, we're on the
overnight,
same
which
page.
So
ironically
you sure it's not Joe Dirt?
Listen.
So
he was surrounded by AR-15. Y'all don't remember that?
Ooh.
You sure it's not Joe Dirt?
I know it was not Joe Dirt. I'm telling you, this was an actual picture. When people started calling people ammosexuals, these goofy pictures that men used to take with weapons came up, and he was one of them.
George
Oh,
McKinney
God.
in the YouTube chat brought up a good point too. The gym pick. Like,
Oh yeah, the gym pick.
mirror, like,
And holding with the
phone
sleeveless
together.
or
Yes,
you know with the
fucking
the most valuable part of real estate. Let me cover that.
I listen. Jim
For the
bro
most-
pics. Jim bro pics make me want to grow out my beard and change my last name to Bin Laden and blow up that gym. I
You can have mine, Tom.
I'm talking fucking black people in slavery. I fucking hate those goddamn pictures. Hate them. Hey, dude.
Thomas
So I
is
have a
like-
question.
Get
I have a
fucking
question
in-
for everybody.
Yes.
How do we
Yes.
have to change the way we raise our little boys to become men who have the qualities that women are looking for now? Because more and more women, even of reproductive age now, are choosing not to date, to be
I would-
alone.
I would personally say, to be honest with you, when you have a child, whether it's a boy or a girl, you understand there's going to be a fundamental difference in how society is going to see them. Okay, so society is going to see her one way, society is going to see him another. Make them, whether it's a boy or a girl, make them live in the world of the other and raise them to understand. Like with girls, I want empowerment. I fuck that shit. I don't want weak women, so I don't want weak little girls. Whatever the fuck they can dream up, if they say they want to do it, do it.
Right.
Do what the fuck?
Right.
Mom, I want to go to them. I want to be the first person tomorrow. Do it, girl. You can. And
Right.
I think fathers should be out there going, well, shit. Let's build you a little spaceship in the tree so you can get to Mars. Whatever the fuck it is you have to do.
Right.
But boys, get them to understand that the women in this world, starting with your mom and your sisters, are going to be reflected out there.
I don't even have.
Even if they're not a mother, they was somebody's sister, they was somebody's daughter, and get them to see that. Because a lot of men, my mother didn't raise us like that. My mother raised 2 women or 3 women that could beat down the goddamn world, and she raised 2 boys with empathy. That's what empathy. We don't raise our boys with empathy anymore. So
Well, what I'll say is this: is knowing
Mhm.
Thomas, knowing you, and knowing Saint, I don't even want to meet your sisters, because if they're anything
don't.
like you, they
don't.
they are on the
You
next
don't.
level.
even the 2 I don't talk to, even the 2 I haven't spoken to in almost 5 years, I don't. My sisters
No,
would beat
I
the
get that.
shit
And-
out of you.
And
Listen,
to answer
my sisters ain't
Sandstorm's
playing.
question, I don't even know if I have an answer. I have 3 kids. 2 were born male. My oldest is a trans woman. She's confident and strong in her own right. And shout out to her. I'm so glad you got your birth certificate the other day.
Yes.
Thank God.
Tell her
Props
Uncle
to you,
Thomas
girl.
said congratulations.
Yeah. My second, who's in college right now, is non-binary, is one of the most empathetic and compassionate persons that I've ever met. Never raised their voice to me or anyone else in their whole life. I didn't do anything. I'm an asshole. I get mad. I yell. Okay. I don't know how they turned out that way. And my daughter is a nonverbal autistic young woman, and she will always need supervision and will never go anywhere. And if anyone ever touches her, I will go to jail willingly. Men or women's prison, I don't care. Just put it on record. I will go.
I don't think we don't raise our boys with empathy anymore. I don't think we ever did. The idea of a man crying to this day is still looked down upon as oh, that's weak. You're so damn weak.
When they're taught not to feel or express their own feelings, how can they acknowledge someone else's, let alone imagine what that person feels?
Mhm.
Yes.
So yeah,
Mhm.
they don't.
Men feel too. One of the best things about estrogen when I transitioned was like, oh my God, there are more emotions in the world than anger and happiness.
Yep.
Like,
Right,
holy
right.
crap, there's a whole spectrum here. Boys, it's okay. It's okay. Just try
I
it
go
out.
back
and
to
know,
I go back
get
to
back to it.
my biggest I'm a huge watch collector. Okay. Shitty watches, great watches, it doesn't really matter. I am a huge watch collector. My wife has to tell me sometimes to stop collecting watches. But I go back to why I love them so much. My father had a big ass Casio. I've told this story. My father had a big ass Casio watch, and I fucking loved that watch. I was a little kid. Loved that goddamn watch. Oh my God. And my father caught me looking at it one day, and he's like, "You want that watch?" I'm a little dumbass. He said, "Okay, I'll give it to you on one condition. You don't cry anymore." And I was like, fuck. because if I skinned my knee, I cried. If somebody beat me up, I cried. I was a crying kid. My father's like, I'll give you this watch if you don't cry. So
I cried while I was beating people up.
that was my listen. The Saint did
I'm
that.
bawling my eyes
The
out.
Saint, listen. One of the worst
Please,
ass
please,
whoopings I ever saw my brother give out was him crying. He beat the shit out of somebody, crying like a motherfucker. But
Right?
I had a nightmare like a week later, a nasty bad. One of them ones where you wake up and you're crying. I woke up, almost started crying, and I just looked at that watch on my arm. And I remember him taking it away from me. And ever since then, I am a huge, huge, huge fucking watch collector. But it's also traced back to that idea that my father had told me that boys don't cry. So it took me, my father's been dead for over 25 years. I had to learn that was okay. Like, hey man, it's buzz off. Like, yeah, you know, I think my brother and I just now started telling each other I love you. You know, my father said it to me twice in my life. The first time was after a surgery. We had his voice box removed. And the second time was the last time I saw him alive. So, you know, there was no hugs. There was no, my father, the 4 words I ever heard my father say is, I'm proud of you. And I lived with that. That shit haunted me. And that's why I make jokes about Donald Trump. Had Fred Trump fucking just said, I love you, man. I love you. You're a great kid. Or I'm proud of you, something. We wouldn't fucking be here. He's an egotistical asshole because he is exactly what toxic masculinity ends up looking like. All those guys
I argue that there would be somebody to take his place. And because there are people, there are all these MAGAs who need to follow somebody like him. If it wasn't him, it'd be somebody else. Somebody that represents an authoritarian father who's going to save them from the boogeyman that the authoritarian father made up in order to get them to follow him. So, you know, if it's not the devil and eternal damnation in hell, it's, you know, the trans people, you know, it's the immigrants.
The devil's advocate, whoever. Yeah.
Right.
But don't you think, Doc,
I actually, Thomas, I thought of you yesterday or the day before. I was watching through the Avengers movies. And I remember the first Avengers movie. And Loki's like going out into the, you know, crowd. He's like, kneel. And then that old man stands up and he says, never to men like you. And Loki says, there are no men like me. And the man responds and says, there are always men like you.
Yes. And
always.
I look at Donald Trump as both the zenith and the nadir of the uber strong, masculine, manly man. He's the end of it. After this, men have to reevaluate what the fuck it is that we plan on doing with the rest of our lives. Because we can't be like that anymore. He is masculinity and ain't even fake on this shit.
He's not really that masculine or strong. I mean, think of it. This is a man who got 5 deferments from the Army for bone spurs that likely did not exist. This is a man who tanked business after business after business, who can't stand for anyone to not worship him. That is all weakness.
Yes.
It's all weakness.
He is the end of it. So at the when he, and it's not even 4 years he's gone, he doesn't run. I'm talking when his ass shuffles off this fucking mortal coil, masculinity is gonna have to be redefined. Masculinity is gonna have, if people keep talking about this big tent mentality, masculinity is gonna need to open that fucking tent up, and it's gonna have to have room for quote unquote unconventional men, motherfuckers that cry, motherfuckers that love their kids and say it out loud, people that grab their wife's booty or grab their man's booty, men that are like, hey, I'm no longer in the closet, I am a gay man, I want to be in a relationship with a gay man, I'm still shooting and fishing and hunting and all that other bullshit, but I'm gay. I'm gayer than the gay as the day is long. Or, hey, I've never really felt masculine. I did all this masculine shit, and I'm really trans. Fucking, I'm gonna, because we gotta open. We've got to because whatever the fuck it is that masculine's been doing for fucking thousands of years, the shit's failed. The shit has fucking failed, and
and what we're seeing right now is the extinction burst.
Ugh.
You know what that is?
I have never heard of that before.
Okay.
Never heard the term.
I've never heard of that either.
I want to hear you.
Yes.
Even angry will know. You don't have to have had a child to know what it's like to have a toddler in front of you that wants something and you're not allowing them to have it, and they throw a fit, and you keep saying no until finally they give up. But on the way there to giving up, it escalates. And that's what's happening right now. Toxic masculinity is in the middle of an extinction burst. And the problem is that on this level, it's not a toddler. It is dangerous men with dangerous weapons.
With the nuclear codes.
Right.
Yep. I mean,
Yeah.
how much more
Yeah.
further into the masculine role can we possibly get? We have literally turned the corner and been back to fucking Nazi Germany. If we go any fucking further back, bullwhips are coming out, and somebody named Cornpone is going to own a couple of fucking people. We have turned the corner. There's no other place else for us to go. Literally, women have escalated. They saw, here's the plateau. Fuck it, bitch, I'll keep building. And then the next woman came up and said, oh, that's a cool plateau. Fuck it, bitch, I'll keep building. Men, we keep running around the same lake. Well, it's got to be better this next time. No, motherfucker, it doesn't.
I said this right before the election in November. That it always comes down to women and their fear of women. And if nothing else, keep them afraid.
Right.
They know they're losing.
Yes.
Who's out there leading the charge? Who are the loudest people speaking up? Have you noticed? People like Jasmine Crockett, AOC. They're women. Who's at these angry Republican representatives' town halls speaking up? The women are the ones that are standing up and challenging their representatives.
And not white women, women of color.
Oof.
Angry. Reset the show. It's
Angry, reset the show.
Yes.
Say something about the white women.
Yes. It is 10 o'clock. You're here listening and watching to The Villain's View, and I am here with the greatest co-host and the greatest guest ever on my turn on hosting, and we're talking AOC, Jasmine Crockett, dick pics, and everything. So,
That's quite a jump.
I know, right?
AOC and Jasmine Crockett have nothing to do with the dick pics. We want to make that clear.
No, it just happened to.
Hey man, you don't smash those together. You're not there's separation between them train cars. Right. You don't ever put them train cars in the same goddamn row. AOC, Jasmine Crockett, dick pics. Man, where are we going?
Hey, man, I love the chaos.
I wanted to bring up.
I love the chaos, man. I love the chaos. You know this.
Have read like the full series, The Chronicles of Narnia. How many of you? Any of you?
When I found out that Aslan was supposed to be Jesus, I was done with that fucking book. Like,
okay, fine. The last book in the series called The Last Battle, and it deals with the Antichrist. This talking monkey, because all animals talk in Narnia, right? He finds this lion pelt floating down a river, and he fishes it out of the river, and he throws it over his friend, who's a donkey. And they pretend that the donkey is Aslan, aka Jesus, whatever. It is a Christian
allegory.
Allegory. Thank you for the word.
I thought you was about to say algorithm. What the fuck?
She was about to say algorithm. Yes.
I'm an accountant. Algorithms are a thing. Anyway, I'm just saying. And this donkey who's stupid, like Donald Trump, goes through this whole book convincing people who believe and love Aslan that he is Aslan, and that is a perfect analogy of what we're seeing happening right now.
Oh, hold on. Because I never read these books, and again, when I found out the lion was
good in about 6 hours. They're super short.
No,
all 7 of them.
Listen. If you catch me reading the Chronicles of Narnia, it's because somebody bet me $500 that I couldn't finish it. Anyway,
there's another.
You should read them to
perfectly
be educated, not because you were challenged. Even if you don't like them, you should read them.
True, but I genuinely have.
That's fair. That's fair.
People saw a donkey with a lion pelt and thought that was Aslan. What the fuck did they think he came back as?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We look at, not we, you and I, but there are masses of people who look at Trump and see Jesus. Give me a fucking break.
Let me
And they're
explain
looking
something.
at
That's
it
what
as
my
an
point is.
alliance
In-
belt.
He's a
in
dog
fact-
Right.
wearing a lion
hold
pelt,
on.
and people
Okay.
are calling him
To-
Jesus.
To them, Jesus is now way too woke for them.
Yep.
He's
Yes.
too woke.
The
Actively
actual
denouncing
Beatitudes, the actual fucking Beatitudes are too woke. Listen, white people, we have our word back now. I don't speak for all of the black community, but I speak for a large majority of it. Can we just get our fucking word back? Or if y'all gonna keep fucking it up like this, pay us. Just give us some money. Just don't listen. If you want to use the word woke
That's
in some fucked up
reparations.
ass,
That's
Like
social.
something.
yeah,
What do you want?
like
What do you,
listen,
that's
Like
that's
something.
communism. Which
That's
one?
communism.
Pick one.
You can't.
find the nearest black
Spin the
person
wheel,
on
make the
TikTok.
deal.
Just send
I
them
don't-
some money on their Cash App,
Spin
and just
the
put in
wheel
there,
of oppression.
I'm gonna fuck up the word woke today. Here's $5. Just do that day, because god damn, I have never.
I mean, you could just call it the woke tax. Just call it the woke tax.
White people fuck up some. What was
You know?
cool? We were talking about
Yes.
that back when we had leather African medallions and was listening to fucking native tongues and X Clan. Now white people,
I still think
and I'm
it's
like,
cool, but I'm like one of 3 white people that like aren't
listen,
assholes.
So
I'm an
I,
asshole.
I just start
Wait,
looking
wait,
at
I'm
them
an
and
asshole, but,
snarling. Like I hear white people talk
Wait,
about woke mind
wait,
virus, and
wait.
I just go,
wait. So
white you.
so if they call us woke now, can it be like, what did you call me?
I'm gonna put it like this way. Look, every time I hear the term woke mind virus,
It's a
every time I hear that term woke mind virus,
for SJW
I mean,
that they were
if you
throwing
want
at
it
us
back,
5-10 years ago.
If you want it back, you can have it
I
back.
would-
They go
I want
right
y'all to
ahead.
Think about this
We
for
just got to
a
find a
second.
game plan that works here, man.
Just think about this for just a second. Elon Musk got in front of a camera and a microphone where people can see and hear him. Announced that his trans child was dead. And supposedly the virus that took this child off this plane of existence was some shit called the woke mind virus. I have never wanted to kick a South African in the face more. Like
Is it every
I don't
time?
even think PW both of
I
pissed
have-
me off that much.
I have met South Africans in the past, and I wanted to kick all of them out. But
Who was it that
So,
Mark
oh.
Zuckerberg was gonna fight in like an MMA match? Do you remember?
That was Elon. Yeah,
Listen,
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and
I'm throwing this out there. I'm a 51-year-old tranny. I will fight both of you.
well, see, here's the thing, and
At
the
the
thing
same
about
time.
that,
Right?
Dana White was actually supposed to put that fight together.
Yeah,
I-
Dana
you know
White
what?
put that fight
I
together.
hope he
I will
does.
fight
I hope
Mark
he
and
puts it-
Elon at the same time, and I will clean their clocks. All right,
Yes,
I will
listen.
clean their clocks.
yeah,
I'm too
I
old
believe
to be
that.
trying to run the fade with them. So if they come in the ring with me, I'm just hitting their ass with a chair. I don't give a fuck. Like I'm hitting Zuckerberg because I never liked his face, and I'm hitting Elon for them hair plugs plus woke mind virus.
Nah, man, I'm hitting them with a brick.
Brain their ass.
I'm just gonna throw a smoke pellet, and when the dust clears, they're gonna be unconscious. They're gonna be asleep.
I'm throwing
I'm gonna be
bricks.
eating hot
That
dog.
man, that man.
I'm gonna be
said-
having
so
hot
I have a
dogs,
question
popcorn.
for you. I have a
Okay.
question for you guys. Have you been? Have any of you watched Elon's son X and wondered what the fuck is going on there?
Yes.
I wonder.
All the time, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wondered why he didn't flick those boogers at President Trump while he
Did-
was picking his nose. And
This-
There are times when I'm watching that kid and I think to myself, Cox, you're losing it because you've got some crazy stuff going on in your head about this kid. But I
No.
want to know, am
Mhm.
I alone?
No.
Oh no.
I will tell you honestly, I don't know what Elon Musk is doing to these women. I don't know what he's doing to these fucking children. But
He's
whatever
got
the fuck
money.
it is,
That's all that
he-
matters to the women.
He
But
is a detriment to humans.
I want to
like,
sit
Yes.
down. I want to
listen.
sit down with his son X and be like, let's have a little story time. And I would like to tell you a little story about a man named Luigi.
You mean his son? You mean his son Meat Shield?
Listen, if that
want
little
that
kid had
kid
seen
You know,
this,
you know
I
they're
want that
all
kid
conceived
voted
by
24/7. I
IVF.
want to know everything. He
all
said.
of them,
They're
I-
all
really?
conceived by IVF.
all 13 of
I
these
just
women.
Oh my
have,
God.
I have questions. The concept of CRISPR has gone through my mind. Like I have questions. I don't know.
When you say IVF, do you mean intravenous fundage? Is that-
Basically.
All this time.
I got money. You wanna
Yeah, like I knew some women.
Do I
I
get a
knew
few
some
billion
women
out
were
of it?
IVF. I knew some women were IVF, but I really honestly did believe that Elon Musk was out here getting Mercy coochie and then impregnating him because he's worth 400 some odd $billion. Because I mean,
Because 400 billion.
nobody wants to fuck it.
I don't think that's
Damn.
I don't think
Who is
that's it.
signing
I
Damn.
think there's
for
another
that?
reason. You see,
You don't think it's you think it's
I think there's something devious going
he
on.
didn't special Kate his dick.
You think that ketamine gave me
Special
ED?
K.
Special Kate is on.
You think that ketamine gave him ED?
No,
Look,
I don't.
I'm
I
sorry.
think there's something else going on.
Any man
I'm not
or parent,
going to say it.
I'll
any
say
man
it.
or parent that turns away from their kids, I don't care if you support trans people or gay people or not. That's your kid, and
That's
you're
your
going to
kid.
be like,
That's
Yeah.
right.
you're
Yeah.
going to be
That's your
like,
kid.
oh, well, they don't, they're into something I don't believe, and they're not
I-
harming
I-
anyone, and you turn away.
Yeah.
Sir, you are a shitty parent.
That's right.
Muscolini,
I-
take a
Mhm.
back seat. Take a back seat.
I have a
You
gay
and Don
son.
Fuhrer can both fuck off.
I have a
That's
gay
right.
son, and I love him with everything in me. And he told me when he was 17, he's like, I asked him, so you're 17, you're dating, and he's like, well, it's like I'm gay and I have a boyfriend. And he kind of got silent, like he was waiting for me to flip out, and I'm like, okay. He's like, you don't care? I'm like, are you happy? Yeah. Is he treating you right? Yeah. Then I don't give a fuck. It's my kid. You listen.
Right.
You're not. I would never turn my back on my child. Never. That's just an area I cannot go to, and I wish a motherfucker would try to tell me otherwise. That's my son, and he will be my son until the day he dies. I love that kid. I love that kid. The idea of somebody bringing a child into this world, whether it's a mercy cooch or actual IVF, and then just going, well, they're dead from their walk.
That's what drives me crazy because, like,
I would
me and-
super kick the shit out of him.
me and my oldest have got into some drag out verbal fights before, but I remember the very first one, and she said some of the most awful shit to me that you should never say to another person. You know what my first thought was? I was like, God damn, she's articulate. What a great vocabulary. That insult was fucking awesome. Like, oh my God, like fantastic.
Somebody in the TikTok chat said those released texts where he said he's gonna have 11 more. Who in the fuck is offering to carry the child of Spunky Man?
Well, Thomas, what are they getting paid? I
That's
mean,
it.
look
Money
at
talk.
Yeah.
this-
I mean,
look at who
Bill.
Donald Trump reproduced with.
Oh God.
And
you're right.
so why, right? And they weren't IVF. Those women had to actually.
They had to do it the old fashioned way.
Look, I know I said in the first hour, like, you know, I have 3 kids already, and if someone could actually come up with a procedure to allow me to have kids tomorrow, I would say no. But if that came with a caveat of, we'll also give you $1 billion. All right,
No.
yeah, I might have a kid. I mean, you can
Like
do that.
I
You don't have a kid for $1
exactly
billion.
like if Mackenzie
Right.
if
Sure, whatever.
Mackenzie Scott came up to me and said, hey, me and Jeff never had any kids. I wanted kids. Jeff didn't. I'm a fucking multi-billionaire. I will give you a large chunk of change to impregnate me. You know, I'm going to be a gentleman. And go, okay, I'll just splooge in a cup and I'll be back. But if she's like, no, the old fashioned way, the chunk of change has to be big enough to where my wife no longer works. My wife will kick me the fuck out of the house. Go get her pregnant. Go get him slaughtered.
That's what I'm saying. $1 billion.
I will plant.
Even your wife is like, you do that, and
I will plant.
and-
a
So your
gun in
wife-
her
and
neck.
I am driving to
Oh,
my
but-
job right now to quit.
I will
Something
spray
straight
her
out
club
of
up.
Austin. It's something straight out of Austin Powers. Like, you could offer me $1 million, we'd all laugh at you.
Yeah, but Mackenzie, that's what I'm saying.
You say
Mackenzie Scott is a
billion, and we're
beautiful
like,
woman. Mackenzie Scott is
You
a
add a
beautiful
1
woman.
and a 0 on, and a couple more zeros on there, we can talk.
Yeah.
How many you want? Are we paying? Is this
I
per?
couldn't do that because I would already be emotionally invested in that child and worried that I would not have contact with them and what's going to happen to them. I would be already doing like the mama bear stuff that I do to excess. Just ask my daughter.
Well, of course,
Before-
of course. I mean, I don't know how it works for me, but for you, you could just be like, as long as you don't sign any contract, you
But
get
see,
that billion.
You're right.
You'd be like, I'm taking you to court for custody,
Even with the money,
and you're
aspect
likely
of it,
to
though,
win because you're the
even
mother.
with the money aspect of it, there is one of his baby mamas, and I'm sorry, I know a whole lot of white people want to call them the mothers of his children. Fuck you, he's getting the same moniker y'all been trying to give black men for 25 years. One of his baby mamas was on Twitter, or X gonna
He's
give
a
it to you
slut.
on Twitter,
He's a
begging
slut.
this motherfucker to call her back because
Two of them.
their child, two of them,
different ones.
yeah, two different ones, are begging him on his X gonna give it to you in the Twitter account
Sounded
to
like
call
this.
them the fuck back. So
Sounded like the damn insurance company. We have been trying to reach.
We've been trying to reach you.
Is a whore.
Extended insurance.
We have been trying to reach you about your child's health care.
like
Yeah,
he's
right.
like that. He's like that line in Meet the Grams from Kendrick Lamar. You are a horrible fucking father. The nerve of you, Elon. Like he is a whore.
And
How
here's
the
the thing,
fuck-
and we all know that the second them shits popped up, he'd blocked them.
Someone
You got
mentioned that Elon is in competition with Nick Cannon.
And look here, Elon won.
I
Elon won
wanna
that
see
shit.
More Elon jokes. Since y'all was making so much fucking fun of Nick Cannon, I want to see more Elon jokes. He's got 13 goddamn children. 13 children by 4 women.
Yeah, we can
Fuck
give
outta
it
here.
to
See,
him.
look
Let's
at
give
that.
it to Elon.
I want to see more skeet Elons. Fuck y'all. I listen. Do I
Silly
have to
man,
make
he
fun
got
of-
a
Is that what I got to do?
silly man.
I will
That,
make-
that Elon got
I
a
will
whole
make
offensive line.
memes.
He got a whole defensive and offensive line. What the fuck is
Yes.
you talking about, man?
I will make more. I will make some goddamn Elon memes. First, quickest man to skeet, quickest man to lead, bitch. Fuck y'all.
Silly man. He got it.
Hey,
Nick
Pamela,
Cannon got
Pamela,
all them cheering.
Pamela over in the YouTube chat. I know that Elon has a trans daughter who left the country and they are not talking and he's disowned her. I have not heard that story of Elon's baby mama leaving him for a trans woman. Do you have a link? I can't find anything.
Pamela, send that. Send
Please do, yes.
If that's a story, I want to read it.
Pamela. That'll keep the whole block fed. Come on now.
'Cause
That's
I
some
went
generational shit right
on
there.
this
Send that.
rant after Roe got overturned and all the cis women were like, well, maybe we just need to give up the D. I'm like, hey, there are trans women out there that can give you what you need and not get you pregnant.
Hey, maybe
I'm
we could
just
take the
saying,
lyric. Maybe
we
we could take
exist.
the beat. Maybe we could take the beat from
It checks
Beat
a
the
couple
Grams
boxes.
and turn it into Meet the Musks. Like, dear X, I'm sorry that man is your father. Let me be. I look at him and wish your grandfather would have worked.
So I want
Right.
to know what you all think. I was asked this in one of my TikToks. What's the end game? What's the end game? It was a TikTok that was talking about Musk rummaging around in Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services,
Mm-hmm.
and all the talk of cutting Medicaid and Medicare and all of that. And what's the end game? Do they just want to
A second Gilded Age. They want to go
kill
back to
people off?
they want
Yeah.
to go back to the Roaring '20s. They want another Gilded Age before the stock market crash. They have been.
Yeah,
they
but the
have
only
been angry
caveat
with this
is
shit. Every tax cut gets them closer
Yeah.
and closer and closer. But what is also coming along with it, that's that whole "Make America Great Again." That's what they're talking about. The Roaring '20s. They're trying to go back to that Gilded Age where the rich ran everything and poor people were just lucky if they could get a rat that didn't have rabies in it. But they want
Right,
to turn back,
right.
and it's like
but see, they want a 2.0 version of that.
exactly
You know,
they want
but-
to a digital age, Gilded Age. But what pisses me off is when people say, "Well, you can't know that. You can't don't doom and gloom." I'm sorry. And this goes out to Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian of the fucking Young Turks. I hope you're watching. Let me help you understand something. Would you put it past them? Everybody keeps saying, this is the part I need people to stop saying, especially if you are of the Caucasian persuasion. Please stop saying your country, this is not the country I lived in. Please stop saying that. Please stop saying this is not the America I remember. Bitch, it's always been that way.
It's
It has
always
always
been
been
Yes.
that way.
Always been.
And there's always
Mhm.
been there's
It's just
always been a
public
rise.
now.
Yes,
It's
there's
just
always
public,
been,
and
If
they
you
don't have
didn't
to
know
hide
that,
saying
you
it.
weren't fucking paying attention.
and there's always been there's the end game has always been the fucking same. It hasn't changed. Just
Right.
because JP
Mhm.
Morgan and the Rockefellers are no longer here doesn't mean that shit has not fucking changed. They literally
They've just been replaced by
Yes.
Yes.
Musk and Bezos and Zuckerberg, and
Yes.
it's just a new
the
age.
the new
see,
Carnegie.
Yes,
the new-
absolutely.
And even and just like whenever we're rehashing the Nazis, we're even recycling their rhetoric. Who
Yes.
knew that they were so green? They're even recycling their catchphrase.
And it's like a thing that and Thomas, you'll know, because Vince McMahon said this: the more things change, the more they stay the same.
When they say this day,
That-
yeah.
and he
yeah.
literally means
to be
that.
fair, angry, a lot of people say.
But the other aspect of it that I think a lot of people are not understanding is
We probably shouldn't be attributing that to Vince McMahon.
this.
Well, I mean, we famously heard it from Vince McMahon. I'm just saying.
Yeah. The biggest argument that people in marginalized community have had with white people is, for some reason, y'all are so late on the ball, y'all don't even realize it's happening. This is not unusual to anybody from a marginalized community. It isn't. If you're a Jew, this is not unusual. If you're a native and indigenous person, this ain't unusual. If you're a black person, this ain't unusual. A Muslim person, this ain't unusual. We've been looking at this shit going, hey, bitch, you see this shit coming? And white people have been like, but it can't happen here. Yes, the fuck it can. Yes, it can. Because the architects of the shit, the architects of the people in Germany, they learned their shit from here. The architects of the Gilded Age, do you think them motherfuckers didn't fucking have children? The fuck? Are you kidding? Like, the worst thing that ever happened to the oligarch class was FDR's New Deal. And what the fuck do you think them fucking Republicans have been fighting against
Ever
since it
since then.
happened?
Ever since then, yep.
The
Mhm.
reason we don't have things like universal health care or free transportation is because
Because the black people might get some of that,
Exactly.
and we can't have that.
Well, the whole reason that we have the conservative party as it is now is because of the New Deal. That's when the conservatives
yep,
started moving
that's
over to the
Right.
Republican Party.
because
Right.
FDR
Mhm.
did he put this thing in motion. But one of the side effects, and believe me when I tell y'all, ladies and gentlemen, shit wasn't designed for us. One of the side effects was Negroes would get a chance to benefit from it too. GI Bill, we can get some.
Mhm.
Oh, welfare, we can get some. Social Security, we get some of that too. Minimum wage, we can get that too. And all of a sudden, the foot soldiers, which are poor white folks, were sprung into action. Oh shit, you mean the niggers can have some too? I don't want it. And that's literally been the fucking playbook since before the New Deal.
That's right.
How the fuck do you think the rich
Mhm.
stayed rich? They kept
Right.
and they kept poor people arguing over bullshit that never mattered to them. I say this all the time. Had America had working class people got rid of that race shit, got rid of the whole we don't like Mexicans and Irish and shit like that, and we all collectively said, all right, make $1 more off our hard labor and we don't get no benefit from it. And you're gonna wake up tomorrow morning with a head in your bed, and it won't be a horse head, it'll be your wife's. And we said that to these motherfuckers. We never scared them enough for them to be able to go, hey, we might want to listen, bitch. We can watch Les Miserables, but we can also remember the fucking French Revolution. You motherfuckers had heads rolling down the street. They were like, nah, we can't have it. They've always the rich and powerful have always had great foot soldiers. Poor white people. The fact that the fact that they called themselves white in the first place. It's all they have always been the buffer between the comeuppance of the rich and the fucking rest of us. Because standing in solidarity with a black guy or standing in solidarity with a Mexican man, it's a little bit too much. It's a little bit too much. There's always been this thing. And
the rich have convinced the poor white man that it's not the rich that are robbing them blind. It's those immigrants and those black people and blah blah blah. And so because the rich know that they're outnumbered otherwise, they need an army of people to keep the marginalized. And so they have to convince the poor white people that the enemy is those people over there.
Literally, the tagline for Fox News should be that LBJ quote. The entirety of Fox News represents if you can convince the poorest white man that he's better than the best black man, he won't notice you picking his pockets. They don't even have to use all of it. Just give him someone to look down upon, and he'll empty his pockets for you.
That's right.
Fucking say that. News should be that. And now the entirety of Fox News white folks are waking up to that knowledge. If you can convince, a lot of them are going right the fuck back to sleep. Well, wait a minute.
I don't know. There's a lot of them that are waking up now to understand that this was a ruse, because now it's coming out of their pockets. But Doc, now they're the ones losing their jobs.
But Doc, and I'm asking you this honestly. I want you to think about this for just a second.
Yeah.
4 years go by of this fuckery. 4 years of everybody's asshole being covered in baby oil and lube and all other kinds of shit, right? Right? White people are waking up and they're understanding, oh my God, we all got screwed, da 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 da. Tell me you really honestly think that in 4 years, when those flowery words start coming back up, when the freedom and liberty shit and they're coming for your gun shit, tell me those same people who are waking up to this shit won't fall right back to
sleep. They will always fall for it, because it's a fact of the human existence that humans need someone else to feel better than.
Yes.
And and the ones that need that also need someone to rescue them.
Mm-hmm. And that there is the frustration with what passes for political discourse today. It's the reason a lot of black folks is like, we're done. Holla at us when y'all already actually do some shit, because there's only this is not the boy who cried wolf situation. The wolf has always been there. We just like, hey, yo, wolf there. Hey, see his teeth? You see he just ate your neighbor, right? Hey, bitch, the wolf is there. And we're always told, well, how do you know he's here to eat me? Maybe you did something. No, bitch, the wolf is there. Like he could have ate our black asses a long time ago, but he over there talking about, I want me some white meat. We over there going, hey, white woman, hey, white woman, hey.
I think you might want to run.
They're going to take your shit. I'm telling you right now, they're going to take your shit. They can't do it. Bitch, I'm trying. Listen, did you not hear what they just said? They're going to take your shit.
I think you might want to run.
What'll happen here?
I'm just saying.
And it's like, what do we do? What the fuck do you mean? What do we do?
Just to throw this out there, thank you, Pamela, from the YouTube chat. It was Grimes and Chelsea Manning, actually, who had a 4-month relationship after Grimes broke up with Musk. So Grimes did date a trans woman, Chelsea Manning. Regardless of your feelings on her, she's problematic, but Manning. Also, I do too.
We got to get Chelsea. We got to try to get Chelsea on this show.
I would love to get her on.
Just to have her relax. Just say, hey, Chelsea, come on in. We gonna fuck around with us for 2 hours.
Yeah,
come on,
girl. I mean, throw your phone in the little metal box, but here we going full public.
Yes.
Right?
But it's like that's this constant warning of everybody in marginalized community to what white people can see happening, and they still don't want to believe it. At a certain point, you leave motherfuckers alone. Like this last election, and I've said this before, it has not been about policy since that motherfucker rolled his fat ass down that goddamn escalator. It hasn't. It has been about character. While he's talking this shit, He's saying some underhanded, fucked up shit. And we're sitting there, people watching people go, yeah, like, yeah,
and
fuck
doing
you.
much worse.
And doing exactly.
Right.
So we have literally been trying to tell people this motherfucker ain't shit. They didn't believe in 2016. They were like, oh, we got fooled. Okay, so 2020 comes around. Some people vote for him, but they still ain't sure. Some people ain't vote for him again. And some people walk their dumb ass right back up and let them shit in their mouth again. So this time,
to be fair, in 2016 we thought there's no.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This time,
and then we went through 4 years of hell.
yes.
And
This
so we
time,
said never
this
again,
fucking time,
never again. We got Joe Biden. We said okay, cool.
we're
we
safe.
We get the goofy racist uncle. Cool.
And
We
then
sat there and said it
24,
this time.
and it's like we said once again, there's no fucking way. There's no way we could do this twice.
We tried. We told everybody.
And
This
what
time
the
was the
hell
clearest.
I-
This
I
time
did-
was the clearest indication that
I didn't
shit
think that
ain't
twice.
right.
I didn't
What?
think that twice because in 2016, and I'll admit this publicly, I was one of those. I did not vote for Trump or Hillary. I voted for the pothead,
What,
Gary?
Gary Johnson?
Gary Johnson. I voted for
Okay.
the pothead.
Okay.
And
You-
but
Okay.
when 2020
2016
came around, I was like, oh, that sucked. Because I came out in 2017. I started transition in 2017. 1 year into Trump's presidency, right? And yeah, never again. I mean, I fucked up. I made a mistake, but
But see, that's the thing. You learn the
Right.
annoyance of Black and brown and Native communities is this. First time, we gave you a pass. It was a mistake. Second time, you made the right choice this time. You were like, hey, we can't do this. This motherfucker cost 1.2 million people their fucking lives. But then,
7 trillion on our debt.
Yeah,
I've been all over the
but
board
then-
though. Like my
but that's
first
the thing,
presidential
Gretchen,
election.
You learned.
I kind of like I
no.
voted my first presidential election. I voted, but it was 92. I voted for Clinton. I
So
voted
did
for
I.
him twice.
Okay, I'll give you that one. So did I.
I
Yeah.
voted for him twice.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
I voted for Bush once. I would have voted twice, but my middle child was in the hospital with jaundice, born 3 days before the election, and we did not want to wait in line. We wanted to be with our child in the
Yeah.
hospital.
Yeah.
So, but had I been in line, I would have voted for Bush twice.
Okay.
Then I voted for Obama. Then I voted for Obama twice.
Mhm.
Then I voted for Gary Johnson.
Yeah.
And then I voted for Biden. And of course, I
you
voted for
learned
Kamala.
and you grew. What annoys us, those of us in marginalized communities, is, and I will tell you, when it comes to white women and other women, fuck, okay? They take shit. A party takes shit from you constantly. They are constantly telling you you are nothing more than a baby making fucking machine. The other party, as dog shit as they are, at least they're not saying, hey, lady, you can vote. We'll fucking take that away from you. They ain't saying that. So in 2024, anybody who sat their ass at home, anybody who thought, I will continue my Jill Stein counters until the bitch says something, and then I will reset the clock and I'll go right back to counting them again. Anybody that literally sat there and looked at that fucking woman and said, hey, she is a good presidential candidate. I hate the speech when they say the lesser of two evils. Okay, so let's say you are voting for the lesser of two evils. You're recognizing that one is the greater of two evils.
arm reduction is a fucking thing, you sons of bitches.
And some people literally will make that fucking parrot bullshit talking point and either vote directly for the greater evil or allow the greater evil to take charge. And how many more times do black people have to sit and I asked this of my wife yesterday. How much more time we got to wait? It's just like that James Baldwin quote. You have my father's life. You have my grandfather's life. You have my great-grandfather's life. You have my life. You will have my nephew my nephew's lives. How much more time do we have to give you before you get it through your head and fix this shit? There will I truly do honestly believe the Democrats, they are never going to get a coalition ever again, because you might get the same old, older black people, but young black folks ain't fucking with nobody no more. They're not. How many more times? Because, and I don't speak for black women. I speak about them, because black women are more than capable of speaking for themselves. But they have been let down time after time after time after time after time after time since the suffrage movement. They have been let the fuck down by white women. And this time there was a clear fucking choice. One literally was going to fuck you. He told you he was going to fuck you. He walked around with baby oil and coconut oil in his fucking pocket, and he would remind you every 15 days, hey, bitch, when you bend over, I'm going to fuck. The other one literally was not, whether it was Biden or Harris. And white women, they did it again. They fucking did it again. Can you imagine trying to get black women back to the table now? To do what? I think black women feel about white women the same way our allies now feel about us. Can't trust you.
Right, yeah, rightfully so. Rightfully so. White women are racist. They are racist. And they are the majority of the white women that voted for Trump are living in areas of the country that are heavily, I'm going to say it again, religious.
Yep.
And they probably already have families. They probably have nothing to lose with all of the legislation being passed. So why do they care? That's the point. Right. It's the same when people ask me, like, well, you're a trans woman, you don't have a uterus, you can't give birth. Why do you care about, birth control or abortion rights? Because I care about a person's right to choose, even if I can't make that choice for myself. How is that hard? How's that hard to understand?
Right.
You people are supposed to be the party of freedom. That's your whole spiel.
They're all about what's in it for me. They are individualistic. What's in it for me? If it doesn't affect me, I don't give a rat's ass.
And
that's what we go through as men too. Whenever we're pledging our swords to women's rights, like, why do we have a dog in the fight? No, it's
because
humanity.
You care.
It's human rights.
Right.
It is literally. I talked about this.
Human rights are bust.
Yes, I literally talked about all of this on the Sound of Coffee last week. There has to be a marginalized communities Article 5. The same way NATO has one. Yep. An attack on one is an attack on all. The problem is, motherfuckers cannot come into that shit with ego. I'm sorry. Some of y'all ain't gonna be able to leave. Sorry, I don't give a fuck. I know, I get it. You have passion, you have spirit, but if we followed you, bitch, we'd be lost in the goddamn woods. Sorry, I don't care. It hurts. I know, but fuck you. If you're trying to get better for everyone, some of y'all gonna have to sit your monkey asses the fuck down and shut the fuck up and listen. And yes, there's gonna be a black woman in front of you. There's gonna be a black trans woman in front of you. There might be some Latino women. There's definitely going to be a couple of Asian and Pacific Islander or Native and Indigenous women. Some of you white women going to have to not separate. You're going to have to not.
Some of y'all going to be real uncomfortable.
Yes.
Right.
We have been trying
and you should be.
We have been trying our damnedest to do this shit without making people uncomfortable. And what the fuck has it gotten us? What has it gotten us? I am a misogynist. Okay, I was not the put shit in your drink. I wasn't the take it. I was not that guy. I was a fucking philandering piece of shit. Be the first person to tell you that. So to hear women talk about philandering men makes me uncomfortable, but I sit my stupid ass down. I shut the fuck up.
Right.
And I listen to the damage that is done by men who cheat on women and just keep lying about it, because I was one of them. Does that make me happy? No. Does that make me uncomfortable? Yes. Am I still sitting here? You're fucking right I am. Because how in the fuck am I going to get better if I don't listen to the people who have been victimized by this shit? What we have in this country, and people swear up and down, oh, well, you hate white people. No, I just know white people can be better than this.
Right. I mean, I've told this story before that when all of the bullshit about CRT in schools and the school boards wanting to do away with CRT, and I live in a town where there's just idiot MAGAs everywhere. It's even though we're in California, they had taken over the school board, and I talked, and the whole, well, it's making our white children feel bad about themselves, to know what their ancestors did. I stood up there and I talked about my ancestors, my great grandfather, and I say this with a great deal of discomfort, was a Grand Dragon in the KKK in Northeast Missouri. But he married a woman who they were both born right at the point of abolition, right in those few years there. And when she became a teenager, she became a part of there actually was an Underground Railroad post-abolition to help black folks get north. And she would take her daddy's horses out to the Mississippi River because he didn't know a few horses were missing. And she'd take them out there as a teenager. And then they would take the horses north, and somebody would bring the horses back before Pat, got a wind of it. Do I feel ashamed of? Hell yes, I'm ashamed of him. I don't feel bad about myself. It makes me want to be a better person, and it made the rest of my family, his lineage, want to be better people. And when we talked about our great grandparents, who were we proud of? We were proud of Kitty, great grandma Kitty, who not only took horses out to those people, but later in life took in black children to raise and taught them how to read and write in a time when they could not go to school.
I tell
so,
people,
it's that
you're gonna
too
argue
bad.
People. Yeah, you're going to the I always say the route to anti-racism, not I don't see color, not we're all one race, all that bullshit.
I hate
the
that
true
bullshit.
path.
I don't see color.
Anti-racism.
We all bleed red.
Like fuck out of here. The true path of a person who is trying to do anti-racism work starts first with the motherfucker in the mirror. That's the first person.
Right.
You gotta look at yourself, and there has to be a true and honest reflection of that, which hey, anybody can do. Most white folks got them. It's when it comes to that goddamn family that they got the problem. That's when shit starts going left, because now you're looking at that uncle who, wow, my uncle taught me how to fly fish, and your uncle cannot stop saying the word nigga. Sorry.
Right.
Oh, wow. Grandma.
Yeah.
I love grandma's baked apple pies. And she used to say shit about Mexican people. Oh, wow. My dad is a great vet, and he's such a loving guy, and he's a great grandpa. Yes. And he continues to insult people of Asian and Pacific Islander descent. It's time for you to fucking say something. And that is where 90% of white folks stop. That's when the whole human race shit comes from. Because that one right there hurts. Because now it ain't outside. There's no big, white guy with a bulging vein in his neck saying, nigger, go home. It's your daddy. Your father, who you love. Oh my God.
Yeah,
I love that so much. He's such a great person.
Here they justify that by saying, oh, well, granddad, it's just a joke, he doesn't mean it, he's not like that, or it was just then at the time, that's just how it was, all of these things to justify that racist behavior. It is like, no,
And until you cannot conquer another fucking aspect of anti-racism until you confront them motherfuckers. And
That's right.
that leads to so many uncomfortable, nasty ass fucking conversations. Because here you are, Thanksgiving dinner with your little guy or your girl, and you guys are sitting there, and then grandma just starts deciding to talk about the time a nigger tried to steal her damn apple pie. Wait a minute, grandma, you can't use that fucking word. What the fuck is wrong with you? Don't do that. Don't do that.
Right.
And
then the first thing she says is, well, I'm just not saying anything. That's not anything bad. I just say this or that.
They say it all the time. Let me tell you something. You know why? You know why black folks are so quick to get rid of black folks that act like that? We ain't got shit to lose. We ain't got shit to.
Right.
We will dump a motherfucker in a heartbeat. I'd say it all the time. I got a cousin I will never speak to again. We ain't got shit to talk about because his ass decided to say, well, you know, we really need to listen to both Trump and Biden. We got to listen.
Fuck that
and
bullshit.
he's one of them big fucking evangelical Christian motherfuckers.
Oh,
Black is a trillion midnights. I ain't
Yeah.
got shit to say to him. Me and my sister was just talking about his ass the other day. It was like, I ain't got shit to say to him. I'm straight. Hey, if I see him in passing, cool. I think a peace sign and I walk the fuck out. Last time I saw him was at my aunt's funeral. I ain't got nothing to say to the motherfucker. Black folks will listen. Black folks will sign off on a motherfucker like, hey, cousin and no cousin, you can't come in the house with that bullshit.
And my call to white people is going to about the same subject is going to be my final thoughts.
Listen,
All right.
at some point you have to be willing to confront this shit, or else you're worthless.
You have
We
to
don't
have
need
the
you
hard
around.
conversations, and it has to be because otherwise, I mean, I don't know. There are a lot of people who can, sleep at night and look at themselves in the mirror without having those hard conversations. But I personally can't. I had some people fly in the other day, recruiting me to work for their healthcare corporation, and walked into my office and thought they were gonna. It was weird. They were offering me a lot of money, and they walked into my office proclaiming themselves as if this would impress me to be Christians,
Mm-hmm.
and that if you come on with us, we can get an audience in front of Trump and RFK.
Oh, fun.
Oh.
What makes you?
Oh,
think-
really?
I've been vaccinated against measles. Thank you.
Said no, I'm good. I'd rather not smell.
But they didn't leave it at that. They had to start talking about the trans agenda. And I said, okay. I said, so when I finally got an inroad, a segue to say something, I just said, look,
Writing down my
you
trend.
need to know something about me before we go any farther. I am not a Christian. I'm a pagan. A heathen, you might call me.
Another pagan in the house.
And
He said I'm a pagan, a heathen, if you will.
And RFK is a fucking crank. I'm a scientist. That guy is a fucking crank. And I said it in that way to them. And I said, and furthermore, I have a daughter who's trans, and I would die for her.
Bam.
So if that's a
Ooh.
deal breaker, this meeting is over. I'm sorry you flew all this way to talk to me.
Ooh.
Hey,
Wasted a lot
Hey.
of money
Oh.
getting here.
Yes.
and
They
I ain't validating your goddamn parking. Fuck.
That's right.
Yes.
They backpedaled. And since then, I've learned that the woman, she was pretty silent during all of that, but then she started speaking up. And she's called me back, and now she's distancing herself from that guy that she was with. And she said, I want to figure out a way to get our services for free to the trans community.
God damn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get it.
That's
Get it.
All
I don't
right.
need it, but I don't need it, but there are plenty in my community, including your daughter, that do.
That's
Okay.
right. And what was really beautiful about it was not long after I made that pronouncement to them, my daughter walked in. And she's gorgeous. My she's just, and the light of my life. And I introduced her, of course, and they were just like, wow, I'm pretty sure I know they've met trans people before, they just didn't know it, right? So it was her
Mhm.
first
Always the
time.
way.
They had never been like presented.
Yeah,
Hi,
Right.
that's always the way.
Right.
Is
Right.
a trans
Well,
person.
yeah. I mean, how many when I post on TikTok, I get so many comments. Like you're just a dude in a dress. You're a fake woman. You'll never be this and that. Yeah, but I go out in public and everyone calls me yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. I go out with my
That's right.
girlfriend. It's like, hello, ladies. What table? Would you like a booth or a table? Blah blah.
Right.
No one
Yes.
ever treats me
No,
crappy in
they
public.
don't.
It's only
Yeah.
you assholes on the internet when there's a screen between the two of us. Because if you said that to me in person, I'll show you how tough women can be.
Boom. And on that note, that brings us out close to the end of the show. And that's time for our final thoughts. So we don't have much time for final thoughts because it was just so good.
It was good.
Yeah,
Everything was just so good.
conversation.
Conversation was just so good. So normally, Doctor, our final thoughts are generally just that. Our final thoughts. Anything that you want to talk about, anything you want to promote, or anything like that. So the floor is yours, Doctor. I do appreciate you coming by and give us, please, your final thoughts.
For me, it always comes down to, with what's going on, the best resistance is to find joy and community and to treat each other with kindness and love. That's the best resistance. And we have to resist. We cannot, although I'll admit there have been days for me, but we cannot curl up in a ball and stay that way. We have to find hope and we have to create it in others. So I hope that we will all reach out to other people, form community in the communities where you live, reach out to the little old lady down the street who might need help getting groceries. Don't be afraid to have the hard conversations, but have them in a way that keeps the discussion as open as possible, as long as that's a possibility. And hang on to each other.
Doc, you have a podcast.
All right.
Say,
So Ginge in the comments says you have a podcast. So what's your podcast?
TikTok chat
Mm,
says
so-
podcast.
Thanks, Jim. Yeah, my podcast is called Adversity to Ascension. And it's on
Okay.
it's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, where you get your podcasts. And my TikTok is dr.sandstorm.
Listen,
So,
y'all ain't
yeah.
following Doc. I don't know what the hell's going on. Go ahead, Hank.
All right. So let's see. I know, Gretchen, you are up because I know you said you had some juicy final thoughts.
I actually not juicy. I just had a thought. I mean,
All your final thoughts are juicy. Make 'em
really, just kind of
Just
a couple of points. A reminder to everyone that yes, Peak Trans is back on GCPR Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern time. It's a short show, 30 to 45 minutes, where I'm just going to recap, the things going on in the trans community. But the thing that I want to talk about, and really, Sandstorm brought this up, is the hope. One of my biggest things about Peak Trans is that it's called that. Yeah, I took the hashtag from an insult on Twitter, which meant we've hit Peak Trans, we've gone too far. No, but I'm a mountain climber. Peak bagging is my thing. I've summited the highest point in 34 or 50 states, and I'm on track to be the first known trans person to get all 50, and I want to do that. And that's what I want to do, is bring hope. So my final thoughts are really I know they're not listening. I'll save a clip and send it to them. My 3 children and my grandchild. Of my 3 children, who are 31, 21, and 19, 2 are trans, 1's disabled. My granddaughter is a person of color. I love all of you. I'm less than 2 months, or just over 2 months away from moving out of the state and away from all of you. And I know that's hard. I'm better suited to support you where I'm going and be stagnant where I am. And I just want you all to know that I love you and I will be here. And if ever you need anything, I'm on a plane and I'm right back. Even if they catch me in the body scanners, I'm like, yeah, that's my penis. Can I get on the plane now? But I'm coming back to take care of my kids. And I don't care what Donald Trump says, what Don Fuhrer or Mussolini says. I don't care what you say. You're not going to stop me from traveling. I'm coming home to see my kids. I'm going to take care of them. And that's it. But that's the point. Yes, it's tough right now. It's scary, but find hope. Find joy. Don't focus on all the negative. And that's it.
Awesome. Great. Gambit, tell us what your beard's final thought is.
I'm gonna keep mine short and sweet. If as far as racism goes, y'all need to learn history, and if history makes you feel uncomfortable, good. It should. It's supposed to. And it doesn't matter if it makes you feel kind of way. It's supposed to. Good. Other than that, protect trans kids.
All right. Great. Now, Mr. Bishop, please enlighten us with your final thoughts, sir.
All right.
It's you.
Mine's is short and sweet. The greatest resource in the world is women. And the strongest resource in America are black. They're not to be mimicked. They're not to be laughed at. They're not to be mistreated. They're not to be hurt. They're to be heard, seen, and respected. Some of y'all are walking around here in the dark with no motherfucking flashlight. And there's a black woman somewhere with a goddamn spotlight waiting on your ass. Respect the sisters and listen more than you talk. That's my final thought.
All right. That is awesome, man. I do appreciate everybody. And Doctor, I thank you for coming by. So
Thanks for having me.
I'll say from my final thoughts, just kind of piggybacking off of Gretchen, look for hope. Find hope in your community, look for the joy, and I get it with Musk doing everything and Trump not doing a damn thing, and with the racism running rampant. There's things, there's joy, there's still hope that's out there. If you got to work hard, you got to find it, you got to stick together,
It's there.
And keep the mentality that you woke up. The day is yours. Everybody else is fucked because you woke up.
Listen.
And on that,
That's how I start my show every morning.
so
Hey, Sound of Coffee.
Sound of Coffee, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Coming up next, we've got conversations with T. Nathan. So on that, everybody take care. Have a great night.
The villains are out.
The villains are out.
And we'll see you all next week.
Love it. God damn, that was a great damn show.